Dodson has been quoted as saying he's the cure for the Demetrious Johnson problem. What do you think when you hear something like that?
I don't know how you guys want to respond to that. It doesn't bother me. You know, I think it bothers a lot more people out there than it does me. So that's just him thinking that there's a problem in the flyweight division and he's the only one who thinks that, and that's it.
Do you see it just as him just trying to market it?
I just see him as trying to be a mental midget, trying to boost himself up and try to ruffle my feathers, I guess you could say.
He also kind of commented that he wasn't particularly impressed with you as a wrestler. I don't know if you saw that interview recently, but specifically he talked about your wrestling. How do you think this fight plays out? Are you gonna have to get close to him? Are you gonna have to get your hands on him? Are you gonna keep distance?
I know I have to get my hands on him. It's a fight. You know, if I were to keep distance, then this fight would never happen. So for me, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and go out there and fight and see what happens.
Which one do you think it is?
I know it's been a long time since that fight has happened, but what do you still remember from that fight? I mean, was there anything that really challenged you? I mean, that was so long ago. It feels like you've evolved so much since that point. I mean, were there things that you've learned about him then that you think you still have to worry about now, or do you think you're going to see a different fighter?
I would assume that I'm going to see a totally different fighter, and I'm prepared for the totally different fighter, or if the same fighter shows up, the guy who's just trying to knock your block off. With that being said, just go out there and fight and see what he's trying to do. Like, each time I go out there and fight, I try to systematically break down and see what my opponent's trying to do. And for him, he tends to go about doing things the same way, looking for you to overextend and knock you out.
And we talked a little bit about his power earlier. Do you think he's the strongest puncher that you've fought?
Let me think back. Brad Pickett hits pretty hard too. Pretty hard to say. Pickett can hit it. He can punch. Man. He's got a whop on him. You know. Granted, I took both their shots in different. You know, it's different. You know, if I was to take a shot standing like this from both guys, you know, I'll probably say Pickett. If I was to take a shot from both guys and go like that, it's totally different. So it's hard to say.
And when you kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier, the shots that he did get you, and then it kind of, you know, you either went down or whatnot. Did you attribute that to it was bad footing on your part? Was it? I mean,
it was him taking advantage of me overextending. You know, when we sit down and watch the fight, if you sit down and watch that fight, and let's say you watch that fight, the complete fight, right? And you blemish out those 3 knockdowns, and you look at the fight as a whole. That's the only thing he had going for him in that whole entire fight. The whole 25 minutes, those 15 seconds out of 25 minutes is the only thing he had going for him. So when you look at it like that, you know, like I said, that was him doing a good job capitalizing on me overextending and trying to get to him. But yeah, that's how I contribute to it.
So how do those knockdowns change your approach in this fight at all? Are you going to be a little more cautious, not open yourself up, or you just going to try to replicate the same plan?
Just go out there and fight. I mean, obviously, there's so many ways I can go about not trying to get hit in this fight, but that's not my style. My style is to go in there and use my skill set that I've worked on so much, and just go out there and fight and see what happens.
He was mentioning at lunch that right now he's doing a media day in Vegas. He mentioned he's going to try to talk to you throughout the fight, similar to the Diaz brothers. What's your take on that?
It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. He's not going to talk because he needs every ounce of energy he needs to make it.
Game planning wise, the fact that you've already fought him, is that an advantage or disadvantage?
It's an advantage because we see how he reacts, and to see, it's always good to be able to fight somebody and see how they've progressed in their career. To where you look at me, I progressed tremendously in different title fights. To where he's fought, honestly, the exact same way when he fights. I mean, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way he goes about doing it. So, you know, we were able to look at the past fight between me and him and see where I overstated and made my mistakes, and then go like, okay, just don't fucking reach. That's it.
Is there a worry at all that you're depending on him fighting the exact same way that he?
No, not at all. One of Matt's old coaches, when I was getting ready to fight Ian McCall for the second time, and he goes, and I go, well, Ian McCall did this, and he goes, doesn't matter. He goes, totally different fight. And the way our system, the way I was raised in my fight game is that first round you go out there and you test. You as an amateur, they're like, you got there and you test, because that's one of the things I love about fighting as an amateur, because that's how you truly test your skill, because you put your name on the paper and they're like, hey, you're fighting this guy. You show up, you have no idea what this guy's doing, if he's grappling or anything. You show up and you start fighting, you touch glove and you start moving, you work and you start your jab, you start your low kicks. Then you slowly start moving in and doing different things to see what the person is very efficient at and deficient.
The last fight went 5 rounds, you know, and maybe that kind of empowered Dodson that he thought he could maybe talk and maybe show that it was closer than anything. Is a win all that's desired out of this, or is there more desire to maybe get a finish, get a submission, just so you can kind of say, all right, that's it?
There's always a desire to finish somebody, especially since he's never been finished before. Like Kyojo Horiguchi, he's never been finished. John Moraga has never been finished. Joseph Benavidez has never been finished. So there's kind of like a little itch in a bug in me where it's like, if I know I have the cardio and I know I have the technique and skill set. You know, it might not be that one punch, but you know that's not all it takes to finish a fight. You know, submission can finish a fight. You know, Herb Dean can step in like, all right, you get your ass with 2 minutes. You saw what happened to Hannah Barra. He was like this, and TJ was like right, left, right, and he didn't have the power to hit him once and put him to sleep. But eventually, there's other ways to stop the fight. But that's the goal.